Good afternoon, everyone. It is a extreme pleasure to be with you again. I know we have a lot to go over and catch up with, but I only have about an hour and a half. Have another note show here, so we're going to try to get these done for you. Catch up. Now, someone asked if we could put a copy of the picture, the actual iris chart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the original iris chart made by Van Pexley himself, and then we'll go to Dr. Jensen's chart, and then we will go to a gentleman, a naturopath in New Zealand, which I really love his chart. We sold these at the class, and you can get them. I think they're like 20, 25 bucks here. But I'll tell you, this naturopath did a good job, and I'm trying to promote him because it's a great tool. Now I'll show you this in a minute and show you why I like that. So let's look at this one. This was the first chart, iris chart, one of the very first iris charts ever grafted. Hungarian surgeon. And then it went through different phases. German iridology obviously became the state of the art at the time. Today, in my humble opinion, Dr. Jensen's work exceeds German iridology. Up until just a few years ago, they kept with the 3 lung patterns on the left and several things that weren't quite accurate. And I think accuracy is really key in all sciences. This is Dr. Jensen's chart. And as you see, the eye is made up into a pie shape with its 12 pieces. And in each section, you have different body parts that related to that. Now that's a bit formal when you consider, now this is the right eye of this one. I know this is kind of rough. But you see how the body parts show up real nice and everything. I think it's a beautiful tool to show your clients. When you sit down with someone, and here's the left eye. When you sit down with somebody and you show them these charts and you show them where their problems are, you really are doing that person a real good justice, and helping people understand the iris work, I think, is real instrumental. Did that turn out pretty good? Did you get that? Perfect. Good deal. Yeah. All right, then let's just tear this patch out. We will go over eyes here. We have several eyes. We want to do this all in one video. We want to catch up on some eyes maybe I missed and some new ones, and we're going to do that probably tomorrow or the next day or something. All right. We're ready to rock and roll.
Always.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Say hi to everybody for me.
You say hi to everybody.
Hi, everybody.
There you go. Drew says hi to everybody.
Have a good day.
Thanks. I just talked with Miss Pa. Is that how I pronounce, sweetheart, your name? Just great husband. Good job, man. Get yourself health together, and I appreciate the conversation there with you. Now, there's some really good questions here I thought was really good, and we should get into them. Really good questions here. This one's from Highway 842. Kind of interesting name, huh? Highway 842. It is possible you could post a short video showing the charts for both the right and left eye. Voila. Appreciate that. Hope that does you good, my friend. Now, this is from AOI Bartholomew. Thanks a lot for your comments here. You're a sweetheart too. Now this is a 35-year-old female. Now notice we have a lot of 30-year-old females and males, and you are the future. So you guys are just really doing well at getting your health back. I'm so proud of you. You woke up finding the 30s weren't too good for some of you with your health issues, and you know, from my part, I apologize. We just didn't know, you know, coming up. Thank God I was young when I got into this too, but so many people are not, and they have a lot to rewind. So that's why I think as a group effort, we'll get more done than 1 or 2 of us out there waving a flag, you know. A couple hours after taking more than 5 herbal tinctures at a time, I feel suicidal, though I would never act on it. I was wondering whether this was the influence of the alcohol, I'm half Asian and don't tolerate it, or the herbs? Probably the alcohol, I would say. I don't know. I mean, if you're having feelings like that, it sounds like a very depressed thyroid and parathyroid. As a child and adolescence until my early adulthood, I was preoccupied with suicidal thoughts. Yeah, I mean, when you start detoxifying, these things do come out, from the past. And my guess, we're right at the let me read on here. And I was wondering whether those old feelings were being stirred up again. Oh, quite obvious. Absolutely, sweetheart. Hang in there, too, dear one, because you're a beautiful soul, and you just got to pull yourself away from your body, your mind, and emotions, and get to that allness and the beauty and the of who you really are. Not that you're not that way in your bodies, but get past those and then work on your thyroid and parathyroid. I find that I cannot take the tinctures for more than 2 days at a time. Well, do this. Do more of the capsules, and if you're going to do the tinctures, do them twice a day in half dosages. But I would definitely get up on the thyroid, parathyroid. Is this to be expected, or should slow down or space out? Yep. Nice thinking, dear one. Good thinking. You guys are, and I have to say that the YouTubers that I've met, very smart. They know how to, pull back, add on. You guys are getting it. I love it. This is just what you do. It's just what you do to your clients. You maybe one of the herbs you're doing, you stop them, or you go to capsules, or you slow way down in dosages. Good job. But my feeling is that you're coming very much into the thyroid, parathyroid thing. Cardiovascular biz. This is I Create True Health. Like your name there, man. I don't see any question here, but thanks for that sort of thing. I Create True Health. I like that. This is TC John, 1985. I'm 27 from India. Oh, love India. I'm having now this is interesting. I'm having dark colored pimples on back, thighs, hands, and I was told it was Lichen planus. In hands, they settle down, leaving black circle marks. On my back, ones are still active and itchy. In my motion stools are normal before a meal, but once I eat something, it gets lost motion with bad smell after meal. Sounds like you really, my friend, need to clean up some gut. Get on that stomach and bowel, lymphatic 1 capsules, say three times a day, and GI broom. That's what I do. Trying to clean that up in there. Sounds like you got some impactions going on in the bowels and stuff like that, and you really need to do that. He added a stomach endoscopy. In my results, doctors found I had severe gastritis. So remember, this is the lymph system burning from the inside out. Unless you have pocketed areas where you have stored matter or proteins and stuff, do you get the putrefaction? I would say this gastritis is the kind you don't want coming from the stomach. So I would use the aloe veras, the stomach and bowel formulas, the marshmallows if you have to, which is in the stomach and bowel formulas, heal all capsules if you want, comfrey. There's just so many great herbs to fix it. But keep in mind, this is a lymphatic problem in the gut wall. And you're going to see it probably all through you, and you're going to see some probably, are you thin here? I am only 54 kilograms and 6 foot in height, hence I am underweight. Well, your real chances that you're malabsorbed are very high with this, and also suggestive that it's probably small and large bowel interstitial lymphatic constipation, and could work itself up to the esophagus and stuff. I stayed in Britain for 3 years for my master's, where I had no lichen issue, and my body weight was 59. Now I am in India for almost 2 years. I used to have a very hard time in eating food I usually eat. Indian food's incredibly delicious and hard on the body. So I changed my diet, taking many fruits and having no spicy or acidic foods after watching your videos. I am happy to say I feel better, and people around me say my face looks fresh. Am I healthy? Thank you for the work you are doing. But sir, still have itchy lichen planus. You know what? Take the Parasite-M until they fall off and your skin clears. Just take Parasite-M. I would load myself up a couple dropper fulls, say 4 times a day for a couple of weeks, and then go back to a dropper full 3 times a day for several months and stay on that until all that clears up. And you have to move on your lymph system, bro. I mean, you really got to get the kidneys and adrenals. Don't forget this. The kidneys and adrenals and the lymph. That's a real big issue here for you, and you're seeing the gastritis out of it. The problem is gastritis can become stomach cancer or gastroparesis, that sort of thing. It's not worth walking down that road. You got to move your lymph. So GI broom and work that way, and also work kidneys and adrenals that way. Okay, so started the day with juicy fruit, not an apple. Why don't you have apples or juicy fruit? I am trying because recently I became constipated. When you say eat less, what do you mean exactly? Thanks. I'm just saying that some people are gorging. And I always felt that if you pulled away from a meal, just still a little hungry, it was always better than walking away from a meal gorged full, you know. And some people just keep piling it in. That's all I meant with that one there. Pottery lady. Pottery lady, I want to see what you make. You probably make some neat looking stuff. Some of you guys make some of the most beautiful stuff I've ever seen. Some of you guys are just incredible artists. You are just so great. And it's just so good to be in the company of some good people like yourselves. So I really feel good about that. I like the juicy fruits in the morning. I was referring the difference between, let's say, apples and oranges and grapes and mangoes as opposed to the bananas. And more the dates and the figs and stuff like that. Not that none of it's bad. None of it's bad. But I'm talking and referring to a detoxification effort. Just remember that. This is a detoxification channel. And that's what we're trying to regenerate and repair, rebuild, clean, make healthy, and take people to well-build. And so it's a beautiful way to walk. Yeah, you struggle with self-disciplines for a while, but it's sure a beautiful way to walk, and a lot of you are doing very well to it. But in terms of daily living, I think you'll get enough of a huge dose of what it takes to be well, that when you balance out from this, you'll find your good balance that suits you and your individuality. Just keep in mind, we have so many generations back of this type of eating outside of the tropics that it's going to be a while before one can really... These raw food moms are going to be the ones that really get the babies into raw foods and just keep them going on raw foods. It just... You know, there's going to be some time it takes to change man's consciousness, and there's just nothing we can do about it. And that's okay. It's just the way nature works here. Sometimes it's slow, but boy, I tell you, it's really neat to see that. Now, this is from JMac. Dr. Morse, I tried to rid myself of Hep C for many years with natural methods, including the Master Cleanse. Nothing worked, and finally I took a year's worth of interferon, and that finally cleared it. Didn't quite clear it. I mean, I say, J. Mac, I feel sorry for you, because interferon, you must have had one hell year, because interferon is not a curative thing. But, I tell you what I want you to do. My question is, are some drugs beneficial? They seem to have helped me. Well, not this one. I'll say this. Hep C is relatively quite easy to get rid of, especially if you follow these protocols. I know you did very well on that, but seriously, getting rid of viral loads. Now, was your liver enzymes elevated, alkaline phosphatase? How much? If that's the case. Did you just have a viral load? Whatever. But I'm just saying, the interferon way, you're lucky you're still here with us. That's all I got to say. It's a nasty way to go. Seen hundreds of people go that way. But now, use a liver gallbladder formula. Get in the GI tract. Move those lymphs, because this, after all, you can't forget the lymphatic system equals inflammation, equals virals, equals all, I mean, it's just all in that whole mix. So by going after your kidneys and adrenals, moving the lymph, cleaning up the bowels, which, remember, the liver's a trunk of the tree, or a branch of the tree on the trunk of the gut, the GI tract. So you got to clean all that up to be successful with Hep C, to be successful with liver lesions, to be successful with liver tumors. And we can say that with the pancreas, we can say that with the lungs, we can say that with the brain. Same thing every time, because the same fluid flows throughout the human body. So I would really work on myself. Don't think you've got it. Go after it and really give your body a deeper cleanse like this. And JC, you'll be good, and you won't have to worry about that anymore, or any other far-reaching issues, because interferon doesn't move lymph, doesn't correct the problem, doesn't get rid of virals that well. I mean, it'll bring your viral loads down, but you'll see what I'm talking about if you're not careful. You can see an explosion of that. And it's just the wrong way of going at it. But I will say that your question is good because I'm not totally 100% anti-pharmaceutical. I'm only not 100% anti-pharmaceutical because man has got himself, and the allopathic community has got man to some of these deeper levels where sometimes pharmaceuticals are essential. And it's just in the process of getting man down off of how deep he is in trouble. Once we curtail all that what pharmaceuticals have done and where man is and curtail that, there will be no more need for pharmaceuticals. Now that probably is a freak out for some of you, but I tell you, between homeopathics and the botanicals done the right way, there's just nothing you can't cure. Now, not referring to diseases because they don't exist, but referring to man's symptomology and his suffering. It's just nothing you can't cure. There are some people that it's time to go. I just have to tell you that there are advanced people out there that it's their time to go, and some of you healers that are working to be the detoxification specialists, which there are some really good ones of you guys out there. You got to remember that some of your clients you can't save no matter how hard you try, what you pull out of the oven. I mean, they're tough. You know, it's their time to go. And everyone should be excited about the next journey because it's better. Always better, unless you hurt a lot of people and you got to pay for that. And that's probably reserved for federal judges and people like that, you know. Going to have some karma. I mean, you're not karmaless. You can act karmaless, but at the same time, you have to be careful in being totally honest and integrity. No matter who's in office or who's doing what, you always work from a position of truth as you see it and know it. And even though that's always can improve. Now, here's another one from Monica. And this is a few months ago I had the so-called silent sinus syndrome. The center ridge of my nose was crooked, and that's why the way to my sinus was very narrow. Deviated septum, generally speaking. Deviated septums, a lot of people have them, so they re-break the nose and open the channel. But with deviated septums, typically you dump to the back of the throat, which causes a lot of people a lot of sore throats because it's mucus. And of course, mucus is involved in all types of pain and swelling, right? Including sore throats, bronchitis, pneumonias, right? And mucus is part of what system? That's right, the lymphatic system. It is actually there to protect you. Mucus is designed to cover proteins, to neutralize proteins or acids. Same thing. And so these are important because of the harm that these proteins or acids can cause the cells. So obviously mucus is essential for the protection side of the body. It's just that Arnold Ehret realized that every time he detoxed people, mucus started coming out all over the place, and then his patients got better. Therefore the mucus diet healing system. And everything, foods that causes mucus. Well, there's no question that anything that causes the mucosa to respond is not good for you. Now, I'll say that you can do that. Light cayenne pepper can create a light mucosic response, which might be acceptable and might be a acceptable way to help maybe move lymph. But I was talking to a young lady today, and she was getting a lot of this mucus out of her lungs that was thick and ropey, knotty, like the belts. What I've been telling you guys, what happens to this mucus in a long-term stay. Not good. That thing is just like a short-term mother-in-law overnight and then you're gone. It's just kidding. Now, this person had a hump removed, and yes, I know now that wasn't very smart. No, I think you did a pretty good job having, you have to sometimes fix this, but again, as I'm reading your thing here, it was the tip of the iceberg that made my sinus sick. Probably blood came in my sinuses, nothing could get out, and it got infected. Well, I have to say that you're already infected there. This is all lymph. It's not getting infected, it's just you're bringing in more bacterial action. Anytime you cause trauma to tissue from surgeries and everything else, now you got a mess to clean up. The surgeons, they don't clean up the mess. They just go in, sew everything up, blow the blood, sew it up, and you're done. But your lymph system now is faced with cleaning up the mess. It's kind of like in our gardens when I replace a tree or put in new trees and plants, then I've got a groundskeeper that has to come in and clean the mess up. Put water lines to it and, get it all done. After that surgery, my eyes started to water, and a week later, my right eye started to go inward. Negative pressure sign. Well, you know what? I was reading this a little bit, and I was thinking parathyroid, parathyroid, parathyroid. Your connective tissue's weak, your tendons are weak, your bones are weak. So I'm thinking in that way, dear, especially with sinus congestion like that, you know that everything from here up is going to be affected to some degree. Your suppression of thyroid, suppression of parathyroid, suppression of pituitary that suppresses thyroid and parathyroid, suppression of neural synapses in the brain. You can go on and on and on, you know, with this. It's all about lymph, lymph, lymph. So cleaning the sinuses requires cleaning of the GI tract. And cleaning of the GI tract requires cleaning of the kidneys and the adrenals. See? And it all is just kind of tied together like that. Now they straightened out the ridge of my nose and took all the pus out. I went on a fruit diet for 10 days. When I went back for a checkup, everything was clear. See how smart you were? Good job. Keep going. Keep doing that. Keep doing that fruit. Keep doing that detox, dear, and clean the whole head out. Absolutely. Of course, I am very happy that the pus is gone, but my eye is still sunken in, although it's not as bad as before. Keep cleaning the mucus. Keep cleaning the acids, and fix that parathyroid, and you know, get on the kidneys, adrenals, start cleaning your body up. And that way, any skeletal issue will be correct itself. And that would be important to do. The more you get the mucus out, the more the glands will turn on themselves. But in a process of that, it could take a while. This is why we use help. But in reality, once we get the mucus out and everything else, generally speaking, everybody turns back on and everything's good, because it's the lymph that actually ends up suppressing or hyperstimulating, one of the two, tissue. Not blood, as a rule. Unless someone's delivered you something in the blood, like iodine, the insanity of taking iodine by itself. Now, the second thing I had done around the same time, because I wanted to have my teeth straight, so she has crooked teeth. So where are we now? We're at parathyroid. We're at calcium utilization problems. This dear one is having that problem. One solution to my case was an upper jaw widening. I still have to have lower jaw surgery next year. Looking forward to it now. I know that what surgery does to your body, but now I'm halfway there. So now I want you to think about using the brain and nerve number 2, because of all the anesthetics that you're using could be very suppressive. I would also use the pure glandulars from New Zealand for the adrenals. I definitely get into the parathyroid and pop that up, because it sounds to me, with the teeth, the jaw, and all that, that one, congestion and all this acidosis lymph is breaking down your and affecting your structure. And at the same time, my guess is this is a genetic pass in your pituitary, because you're only, what, 30-some years old? Are you? I don't know. You didn't give me an age here, Monica, but for someone young, though, this is a lot of trauma here. And probably because of my left eye sunk in a little bit as well. My doctor said because of also the jaw widening, everything is changing and still has to adapt. He said that they couldn't reverse the pressure that is inside. But this pressure is a lymphatic pressure, dear one, and you've got to get this pressure out, because nothing ever good comes with acid pressures. It really doesn't. Now my question is it possible to get my eyes back the way they were with detoxing? Well, detoxing in the process of regeneration, absolutely. Absolutely. And you really want to fix some things that I think you were probably born with that is a lead-in to that, which is parathyroid or pituitary controlling that. You'd have to look at your eyes and take a look at that. Can we actually reverse that kind of pressure? Oh, yeah. Oh, pressure is not the difficult problem of this. It's a skeletal mutation. You would have asked that in class, I would have yelled, yes. Yeah, good woman. She's from the Netherlands. The second question I have as to with the jaw widening as well. I only thought my cheekbones could come out a bit, and I would have been fine with that. I don't know that other parts of my face could change too. The sides of my head are sunken in a bit as well. Yeah, I mean, when you go into these things, Monica, I just said really go down that road to health. Definitely the parathyroid, as we discussed, things like that. Get the adrenals, clean that lymph, because lymph is mutative. I mean, that's the acid side, and that's where you get a mutation, the loss of calcium, blah, 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 and the mutation of structure. And obviously this is coming down your family tree, so I would look at that. Now this is Jimmy from London. I am resubmitting my question. Sorry, Jim. I'm sorry I haven't been able. It's just I wish I could help. I wish I could just do this full time and talk with you this way, but then I wouldn't be able to make a living. I have a question about the healing power of the human body, and I thought this was an interesting question. I have a question about the healing power of the human body. My question is, how does a body know to cure, fix things in different parts of the body? Like in my example, herniation of esophagus, lump in throat. How does it know that the problem is in my throat and go there and fix it? Also, does it matter if the problem is created internally or through injury? Like in my case, it is a condition that came up because of an injury. I threw up numerous times after eating meat, which herniated the esophagus. Does the body pretty much fix any type of inflammation, weakness, toxicity in the body, no matter where it is or how it was created? I would love to hear your thoughts. You know, I guess there's no definition for intelligence and consciousness. I'll say that probably at one level you could say this is chemistry, and different forms of chemistry have affiliations for different tissue. A classic example with that would be iodine to the thyroid, copper to the kidneys, things like that. So you have to, and like aluminum and mercury to the brain. There are just certain chemistries that are put together that has affiliation for certain tissues. We're starting to learn that in plants now, of the active principles within these herbs and what those active principles, the action that they have. There's always an action that chemistry has, or an effect that chemistry has in its position. Well, however God put that chemistry together for whatever. Alkaloids relation to tannins, relation to the vitamins and minerals to the plant, as related to the all of it. You know, I'm trying to think of the vitamin C group, flavonoid complexes and stuff. Everything is just, all these different complexes have different effects upon different tissues. No question about that. I think that that's probably the power of the herb, is the way that chemistry is configured. And man, you're talking about a highly intelligent being that can do that and make that specific to tissue. At the same time, you have to remember that from the position of physics, that everything is frequencies of electromagnetic energy. Spiritually, we can say that is states of consciousness. When consciousness is the one, and consciousness divides itself into individual pieces, we would call those states of consciousness. In the theories of the physics, we would say steps or frequencies of electromagnetic energy. And then we can go down and say that's what chemistry is too. So at each level, you know, we find form, and we find different aspects, we find color, and we find sound, and we find shape, and we find all these things, all magnetism. I'll have to say, though, that the nervous system of the human body is an incredible communication system, like the computer links. In other words, when you press the numbers on a computer, how do you make it all happen? How does it work? You know, and again, these neural lines of magnetic energy that take electromagnetic energy frequencies and transmit them to the brain. It's just an incredible working neurologically. That's why I've always said good healthy adrenals are important for a good neurological function in the autonomic, keeping the brain clean, the bowels cleaned up to keep the central nervous system on point. Because once you lose the nervous system, boy, everything goes. The nervous system, and that's where the fear of all these surgeries, especially from this lady here, having these surgeries and the neurotoxic effects of surgeries and the suppressive effects to different tissues. Remember, we've discussed already type 1 diabetes. A lady came out of surgery for the 4th time on her knee, and she stopped menstruating, and she was type 1 from that. And it just showed you the neurological side of many problems that man faces, because the neurological side either turns the switch on or off. So real important, that side of that, no question. So neurotransmitters very vital to the workings of everything, including bowels and bowel habits and everything else. Someone mentioned they were getting constipated. Look at your adrenals, look at neurotransmitters, that sort of thing. But there's that wisdom of the Creator, and that's what makes me a God man. You just look around. You look at the body, you look at how flowers look and are created, the beautiful animals, you look at everything, it's like, how could you not have love when you look around? And yet, we have a very violent, warring planet. This is a warring planet, not visited by a lot of beings, to be honest with you. And there's 2 particular ones now. One's trying to protect us, but I don't know what to say. Man's a victim of his own self. But I can only say that that's, and there's probably a lot more cofactors to that between chemistry, magnetism, and the way that chemistry relates to different tissues. Holy crap. And the frequencies that they radiate, and if that's polarizing to certain, I mean, it's like, oh my God, this is all cool stuff. It's cool stuff. It's amazing. If you think that the worlds of God are dead, I don't know. This is Douglas. What's your opinion on titanium dental implants? Well, I'm about to get 4 of them because I have no teeth up here. And it's a real pain in the butt. I'd had a lot of dental work growing up. My family were farmers, sugar eaters and milk drinkers. And all my family have no teeth. Well, they're all dead now except my sister, but she had no teeth in her 20s. So I've kept most of mine, but this broke off the other day, kind of getting a little... But so I have to have it all fixed, and I'm going into titanium. I looked at the ceramic ones, and I've even talked to my dentist. I've got the name of the guy in Texas that does them and all that from Tony. But I don't know. I don't know about the ceramic ones. I don't know. I would like to have them. They're like triple the cost and everything. That's where my problem comes in. Implants are already expensive. I have about 6 or 7 implants. They're all doing me very well. I really don't have too much of a problem that I noticed with them. Titanium is a base metal, so it would be, you know, you would never want to put an acid metal, and they wouldn't, I wouldn't think. But an acid metal would never hold. It would break down the bone it goes into. So you can always look at that. I had one put in about 4 years ago, and since my health has been declining. I hope that's not the case. You know, I really do, because, you know, that'd be a lot of people in trouble. And it's just, I don't know. I don't know where dentistry's at and its thinking in terms of what it's doing. I guess a non-metal is always going to be better. I'd have to say. I guess if I had the chance to do ceramic implants, zirconium, and they're not too expensive, I might try it. But I don't have the money to go to zirconium. You might be able to get them done in Costa Rica or something cheap, but Tony said this is the man in Texas that does them. He's the man. So I don't know, Doug. Also, I tried grape fasting twice, but kept on getting extremely sensitive teeth. Yeah, I tell you what. The sad thing is all this is in a long process of decay and loss of calcium and lymph and acids and all that. You can at any given time feel lymph nodes on most people swollen under the jaw. It's just because of all this is so lymphatically involved, gut, kidneys. So you got to work on all those and get all those opened up again to drain this jaw out. Because you can get the TMJs, you can get the distant, you know, the crooked teeth. This is all about, again, how the body utilizes calcium and how that is interplayed with your genetic lineage. So I don't know, but that's right where I'm at right now too, bro. And this is Mark, a question from Mark. Hi, Dr. Morse. I'm planning on getting a parathyroid glandular to take in combination with your bones, but just a perfect combination. I really like that. And these glandulars from New Zealand, the company's, I think, going to make me just pure glandulars. And I tell you, it's frustrating with American companies. America needs a good butt whipping. We need to start thinking pure like New Zealand does, and humane laws and things like that. We're just so far out there. I don't know what's going to happen with this country. It's just about to have some serious problems. Already has serious problems, I guess. You recently answered my question regarding this problem and suggested I may have a parathyroid weakness when my eyelid slightly hangs lower. Yeah, so your connective tissue, your tone. Again, I want you to think neurological too. So do brain and nerve number 2. That'll help too. Get your parathyroid up, strengthen connective tissue. I'm going to do a basal temperature test to determine any sign of there. There you go. Thanks, Mark. Good job, man. You guys are just doing really well. I'm real proud of you. I don't have cancer, but fibroid tumors. Does this apply to them? Thanks. And this is Pottery Lady again. You know, same type of problem, though. This is all about acidosis. And you want to get those fibroid tumors out of that uterus. I mean, you want to get that out of there. And again, that's through the door of the lymphatic system. And the next door is going to be fibrocystic breast, fibromyalgia, you know, all those kind of things, all tied into the lymph and acidosis. So even if it's uterine or breast or wherever, it's always kidneys, adrenals, and so forth. Go down that line of what we've been talking about, fixing yourself through that way. I just planted a couple of those. Actually, I planted about 4 of those. There's different varieties. This is heal all herb, very aware of it. A lot more stronger herbs out there, but I like the heal all herb. But there's a lot of real strong herbs out there. I've never considered this super strong, but I like it. I have no problems with heal all herb, not one bit. I don't have any problem with too many of them. Don't ever do Peruvian bark. Don't ever do Peruvian bark. I've never called them, and I should, but you know, John out there, Christopher's son, need to take that out of your book. Never, any herbalist should put Peruvian bark in any book. Too dangerous for the neophyte to get a hold of. I would never recommend that. I've experimented with that, and that's where I went down in a coma, and I just tell you, you never get Peruvian bark. That's cinchona root. That's where you get the end of the day. Quinine. Now, this is strong-willed. What exact herb product are you referring to when you advise someone to address the parathyroid? Herbal product would be the endocrine gland formula. Although, to be honest with you, I'm highly recommending glandulars for parathyroid because I don't know how well the endocrine gland formula has an impact on the parathyroid. And most people are very serious when we come to the parathyroid. They're losing bone fast, they're connective tissue problems, they have the chance for aneurysms because they're bruising real easy. There's a whole host of problems. So I like the pure glandular from the Z. I'm excited to get that in. Hard to find just pure parathyroid glandular. It's really hard. Companies have this thing. And when you do, it's got like calcium and magnesium like the Calma Plus and other things, instead of having like the Bones formula, which would be superior. Just be superb. I am a 30-year-old female, 2 kids back to back. Wow, honey. I have a bit of a spider veins and a few varicose veins. And the other question is, did you have a slight postpartum depression with the kids? Because these guys are sucking the calcium out of you, honey. You're only 30 years old. You got spider veins and a few varicose veins at 30 years old. Got to turn this around for this young thing because, you know, another 20 years might not do her well. You start having a lot of bruising easy and stuff like that. Her left knee hurts, so that's that left kidney not filtering the lymph out of that leg. So the acids are going to break down your knee or dry up your synovial fluid in the hip, and it goes like that. So you just get at 30, you know at 30, we can safely say that definitely kidney and adrenals are involved. How much? Get a picture of your eyes and take a look at that and see where you're at in that. Check your blood pressures and things like that. Remember, the lower the blood pressure goes as you start cleaning up the kidneys, the weaker the adrenals on top. And I was just talking to a lady, and she said when she took the adrenal glandulars, her kidneys started filtering. So it's another little proof that the adrenals control the kidneys. I just think that's a good thing. And this is what I love about all of you guys. We're all going to be able to put things we're not sure of together as time goes on here together. I'm really excited about that. It'll be fun. Doc said that it was a cartilage inflammation and advised to do some exercises. Okay, so let's think about this. If it's cartilage inflammation, what could cause inflammation? Let's see now. Acids. Only 2 sides to chemistry, right? Now, there's only 2 fluids of the human body that transports chemistry like that. Yes, we have some water, which is the universal solvent of life, and yes, it's there for all the ionization and oxidation and all those factors, also for acid buffering and things, but keeping it simple, blood and lymph. So why would you have cartilage inflammation? What isn't filtering properly in your body, dear? The lymph system. And so very important to deal with that. That'll take that inflammation or acids out of that knee and everything will be good there because there's no other way. Exercising that knee, bad idea. Bad idea, because you're going to find that it's only going to cause you more problems. Fix the kidneys and adrenals. Get the lymph moving and then put more pressure on the knee, but don't lose your knees. That's not good. I started out but stopped. Good woman. Pain in the knee is on and off. Usually comes on after exercise. No kidding. More acids, more pain. And if a medical doctor can't get with that, boy, you guys, that's pretty simple. I suspect poor calcium absorption. I suspect that too, dear. I'm going to use the word utilization as opposed to absorption. I'm going to use the word utilization. Parathyroid hormone, parathormone. But let's look back down here to the kidneys and adrenals too, because you got to look at that with the knee, honey. Got to do that. Usually comes on after, I suspect, okay, what specific product of yours would recommend to address the parathyroid? I would get a parathyroid glandular and go down that road. I'd also get my kidneys and adrenals up and move those lymphs, honey. Got to do it. Got to do it. Get that knee fixed up. You don't want to lose your knee. You're only 30 years old. Not to forget, I also have hemorrhoids. There you go. There's that vascular wall weakness again. So again, you got to strengthen that back up. Causes extreme itchiness. Well, that's fungus problems in the rectal wall. The itching minimalizes since growing wall. Use a parasite in, get rid of the fungus, move your lymph, clean all that up, and you'll be in good shape. I am going to move my lymph. Yeah, good woman. Good woman. I also purchased Heal All Tea. Boy, you are rocking and rolling, dear. Would anything else need to be out? Only the parathyroid. Work with that. They'll help you out with that. Agitation and give me a sense of some calmness. Yeah, I think once you get everything moving, you get your calcium utilization up, everything will calm down for sure. Get these acids out of the body, hyperstimulates the nervous system and everything. Get the brain cleaned out. Anything that irritates the pineal gland or shuts it down. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome. And thank you, strong-willed 30-year-old female tearing it up. This is Mother Nature Heals. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Mother Nature Heals. I appreciate your comments, staying with us. I know some people come in and off. One lady went off because she didn't like my comments, or, well, I was badly informed on 80-10-10 or something, you know. Well, we don't read everybody's books. Not everybody knows everybody else, guys. You know, that's all it is to it. And I was misinformed on that. But still, you know, everybody's doing their own thing. So, you know, we just... Two short questions for you. What vegetables are considered fruits? Well, you definitely avocado, cucumber, tomatoes. I can think squash maybe even in that. You know, anything a plant or tree bears. Now let's take the nuts. That could be considered fruits, but we have a very concentrated fruit. So except for the nuts, let's look at, because those are good when you're going down a healthy way. Problem is, we tend to eat handfuls. You know, you don't sit there and eat 1 or 2 almonds. You'll sit there and eat a handful of almonds, and I'll put raisins with them because I love raisins and almonds together. I used to eat handfuls. I put on a lot of weight eating nuts. And I felt it and got stiff and I got tight, acidic. Oh no, there's a reason I say all these things, and most of it is I've witnessed it on myself or I've seen it on my clients. And I've seen a lot of clients in 40-some years. Cucumbers, peppers, exactly. How about corn? I don't know. I can just say, and I've made this comment before, that corn is undigestible for most everybody. You always see it in your stools. So I say eat raw corn and chew it, chew it, chew it, and chew it, and chew it. I don't consider that a fruit. But it's kind of the product of a plant, but it's just an undigestible starch. And it's just one of those that probably you could put in the limbo, kind of between the two. Second question, gaining ground, convincing family members to consider changes. Good, good, good job. SK lessons run in the family. Fibrotic keratosis. Conventional medicine doesn't identify a cause. Can these be addressed with raw food and herb balance and support? Yeah, you more than betcha. You more than betcha. Absolutely. And that's what you want to do. You want to get in, and you really want to move lymph. Clean subcutaneously, clean the gut and the kidneys and the adrenals and get those opened as you're moving lymph. And then everything cleans up, from skin to brain to everything cleans up. And it doesn't matter what you're dealing with. Oh, this is vitiligo. Hello, this is Sunshine. I love the name. Look at those beautiful fruits. Sunshine 1974ism. For the first, I want to thank you for all your work. Thank you, dear one. This is in Europe. Italy doesn't exist, Dr. Morse. We need a clinic in Italy. We need a clinic in Portugal again. We need a clinic in London. We need them around the world. And so anytime you guys want to set up a clinic, we'll be glad to help you, because we really need people to have access to you guys. You guys can whop them and clean them right up. You Facebook people are already doing it. You guys are learning so much. Ken from Idaho, was it? Or Kansas? You're a kick butter, man. So you guys are really need to set up your healing centers. It'll happen, and you'll get more clients and more clients. Don't be too impatient. It'll come. Took me years and years and years and years and years, about 30-some to get going. That's how bad this society was. Now you have help. Now you've got a lot of help. I'm feeding you this stuff right and left. This is all, I'm telling you, it took me years to learn all this. Years. No school teaches this. You guys take this and use it. You're seeing what benefit on yourselves. Do it on your clients, your families, and run with this. And let's change this world. Sooner the better. My mom get better slowly but sure, begins to form the muscles and connective tissue. And just keep going, because thanks for the video. You answered my question about osteoporosis and arthritis for my mom. Just keep going. Just keep moving. Keep moving. Keep moving your mother through this. And keep moving. And before long, you'll be looking around, and she's made tremendous headways. Another problem is my sister. She is 36 years old. Runs in the family. 36-year-old, and she's sick more than 10 years, vitiligo. Pituitary. How many ways can you say pituitary? Definitely. But after some years, she had only some pieces of vitiligo, and now in all she's body. So you just got to get after her pituitary. That's real important to get after that. She's desperate because the doctors say that vitiligo is for life. Vitiligo is not for life. I saw all videos, and I couldn't find the video about vitiligo. Well, Chris is supposed to write that up. I've done probably 3 or 4 on vitiligo. I would like to please you explain how can she begin to stop the vitiligo and detox her body. Inga and family. Inga, sweetheart, that's a pituitary problem, and you have to go and you can move lymph, because you don't know if the lymph is suppressing pituitary. It's a genetic past, whatever, but it would have to be a pituitary that or a lymph that broke it down in the past, family history. So again, you want to go after causative factors. Clean up your mom's GI tract, kidneys. That's what everybody dies from anyway. Notice that? Kidney failure. Interesting, huh? So clean up the guts, clean up the kidneys, get the adrenals on, start moving lymph, get up here in upper circ, brain, and nerve, and then take a pituitary, a glandular, and you'll see your mom's vitiligo starting to change. Take her some time, but it'll turn there, my man. Torah 604. I just love that dog. Can I pet that little doggy? Oh, by the way, Coco says hi. He says he misses the YouTubers. Question, what about low blood pressure and having low blood pressure for years? What would cause this and what should be done? You know, I'm hoping that Chris and is putting this up right, because I've addressed this so many times. Blood pressure always low like that is the adrenals. Low systolic is always adrenals. Now low diastolic, I don't like that one either. That's weak kidneys. And you don't want to have too weak of kidneys. It's all right to have kidneys that have been maybe a little damaged, and you repair them and rebuild them, okay. But genetically, real weak kidneys can run you some really low blood pressure diastolically, and I don't like that one. Systolically, the adrenals, again, that tells you have real weak adrenals. So when you add real weak adrenals on top of kidneys, what you have is lymphatic problems, you know, as a rule. And so that is, and I've read your post before, sweetheart, so this is something that I think is important that you look at. And get those pure glandulars. I'm telling you, it'll pop up your adrenals a lot quicker. Herbs are kind of slow when it comes to real weak adrenals like that. You haven't mentioned what your blood pressure is, but I think it's pretty low. 70s, 80s, 90s, say 80s and 90s. Anything below 100, way too low, and I don't even like 100. You'll feel really good at 118 to, mine runs 118. Oh, Thanks so much for this. This is Mr. Hulson. I can't even pronounce your name, and I really thank you for your comment. Huss Hassana FZAL. Sorry I can't pronounce your name, but love you, man. Thank you for the comment. Appreciate it. I hope you're doing well too, my friend. And keep going with your health issues, no matter what country you're from and what you're doing. And this is to the, I hope Jennifer got back to the man in Serbia with the mother. I want you to stop all thyroid formulas with the mother. And let's see if we can't get your mother back. And don't listen to the medical doctors. Your mom doesn't need to go somewhere. We'll get her stabilized and fixed up, my man. Oh, this is Wendy. Wendy has wings. Hello, Doc Sunshine. Hello, Wendy. Love you, dear. Thanks a lot. Are there any genetic weaknesses in the body, such as autism or cerebral palsy, etc., that can be made better through this protocol but not healed? Well, I will say that I've had some very tough cases in autism. I've had a lot of autism around the world come in here. I've not seen one we hadn't gave massive improvements, if not, got through that process. But in reality, there's always going to be someone out there that can't do completely or stay on, and yeah, you're going to have some hard times, and they're going to have some remnants of stuff, absolutely. They're just not going to get every young child turned around, neurologically rebuilt, adrenals, kidneys, and all that, just because of the nature of the parents and the nature of the kids and everything else. So you have all that to consider, the peer pressures, the schools. The schools are a big pain in the butt. Not only do they just teach academic, they don't understand how to teach the other side of that. Plus, at the same time, the school lunches are just horrid. I like that black school principal up in, I think, Georgia or Alabama, and she just turned her lunches into more fruits and veggies and got rid of the crap. And then she went from being toward the last academically to the top. And the days off, there's hardly any, and the whole school. I mean, this lady turned it around, baby, and that's just what needs to be done. She just took power in her own hands, kicked out all the crap machines, put in more fruits and veggies, steamed vegetables and cooked vegetables for the kids, got away from all the meats and the junks and all that, the mac and cheeses. So we really have to hand it to that lady. She needs a Nobel Peace Prize. Good work.
Hello.
Hello. Is ready now? Oh, by Skype. He's going to Skype the 5 o'clock?
No, he's willing to talk now.
This is our 3 o'clock?
That was your 5.
Oh, 5 o'clock. Okay.
But
He's going to do it by Skype. How can you just come in? We'll do it by Skype. You want to bring in the Skype? I'll close this down then, and we'll...
All right.
Good. Oh, this is Miss Raw Flower. Look at that. She's kicking butt on your herbs, high fruit diet for 4 days, now feeling fantastic. Woohoo! The question is, I see that few of us are mixing melons and berries or other fruit. I heard many times about, well, you could probably get by a little bit with that. You have to see. Watermelon, I could mix cantaloupe with bananas okay, but watermelon with anything, ooh, that tears me up. I can't do that. So I don't know. Love from London. And love from the States, my dear one. Just certain foods digest faster than others. And melons go back pretty darn quick. So if you're putting it on a slower one, digesting food, you'll get fermentation pretty quick. The body ferments real quick if you haven't noticed. It's amazing how you see putrefaction and fermentation. But you can separate them. It'd be ideally probably separate them. I'm going to have to finish up, as you see, because my client is in here, and I'm going to have to take care of it. It's always going to deal with Skype. For instance, from birth, can the cells be too damaged or mutated? Is that the right word, to be totally regenerated? I have not seen that, Wendy, but gosh, you know what? And some of these mutations of the children, it's possible. I would like to see that girl without a face and stuff. I'd like to have been able to see what we could do with that case. I like to be able to take on some of these cases that after 30 surgeries, she still doesn't look much better, and I think that's a crime right there, to be able to do that to that little girl. Again, if I was the soul inhabiting that girl's body, please release me, please, please, please. I'm stuck here, and all I'm doing is going through anesthesia and surgeries and pain. Let me go so I can get a better body or go to my next journey. Thank you. Now, you got to put yourself in that soul's position. You can't put yourself in the mother's position because she's obviously, this is her baby. The problem is, that's the body she made for that soul. It's the soul that you're trapping. So that's real, I don't know. You know, we all have our own takes on those, so I don't mean to insult anybody, for sure. But it's enough to say we have to get higher in our understanding of God and how creation works. That's why I'm trying to feed that to you, even though this one lad didn't like the spiritual side of it. You cannot separate spirituality, which is just being a higher way of seeing and knowing things and acting with respect and no ego and things like that. You can't pass those up, because part of your weaknesses is how you carry yourself through thought and action. So anyway, I hope that answers everything, guys. I love you all. Thank you so much for spending your precious time viewing these videos. And I hope this finds all of you well or getting well. And if not, hang in there. We're here to help you. All of us are helping each other together. I really love you all. May the blessings be to every one of you. Thank you.